Fats and oils. When I say that, most people think about trans fats, saturated fats, deep frying, processed foods, and that doesn't really leave a good taste in your mouth. When in reality, unsaturated fats are still fats, yet they are the good kind, such as avocados and fatty fish, walnuts. They bring benefits more than people think. The information around it is just staggered in today's society. Which brings me to my introduction to fats and oils, and I'm aiming to inform people on how beneficial healthy fats and oils can be. As talked about, there is a certain stigma that people have in terms of oils and such. They think they have to burn off this weight when any fat is consumed, whether it be french fries or an avocado, when not consuming the right fats leaves you in a worse position than you think. Brings me to my research question, which is exploring on how the usage of fats and oils are not your enemy, but your friend. The body's overall function does benefit in the long term from these food groups. Initially, there's going to be a lot of complications associated with fats and oils because the kind consumed is usually saturated or trans, along with a lot of heavy consumption of seed oils, such as corn or soybean, which is usually used in fast food meals. In American society, fast food is so prominent, which leads to diets that are of the unhealthy kind, and a lot of Americans develop type 2 diabetes, GI disorders, or most common, obesity. I want to focus on omega 3 because it's a very important healthy fat, which is found in a lot of foods, whether it be as shown in avocado, nuts, egg yolks, salmon, and it supports brain function in more ways than we think. A lot of people are deficient in this essential fatty acid, and the information should be popularized because the key influences is reducing arterial plaque buildup, increasing blood sugar regulation, and even cognitive function as our brains are supported in consumption of these foods. This study I pulled from James J. D. Nicolantonio, Good Fats versus Bad Fats, Comparison of Fatty Acids and the Promotion of Insulin Resistance, Inflammation, Obesity, shows that a diet higher in saturated and monounsaturated fats is more likely to increase your risk of insulin resistance, inflammation, and fat storage, whether a diet in omega 3 is more likely to decrease inflammation, insulin resistance, and fat storage to kind of act as a fighter for these diseases that's very prominent in Americans. It's a human clinical trial with 60 non-diabetics ranging from 40 to 65. They have mild abdominal obesity, and as shown, the more percentage of omega 3 intake, the lower risk of CVD and other diseases related to insulin inflammation and fat storage. Just from increasing your diet of 2 to 4% of omega 3 all the way to 5.5 to 10.9%. A little range goes a long way. What can be taken away from this study is that blood sugar can be regulated, cognitive function is improved in longevity, and obesity can be managed with consuming fats, as we talked about olive oil, avocados, salmon. Diets that don't include these nutrients only leave most Americans in the spot they're already in, which is stigmatizing all fats and just continuing consuming the unhealthy ones in large quantities. What steps should be taken to reduce this overall problem is that, first things first, CVD is a huge factor when it comes to people's diets, especially as they age. Managing your cholesterol and weight is not easy. When you're in your mid 50s, you have a job, kids, hence why so many people turn to fast food. But filling oneself on healthy foods and reaping the benefits of increasing satiety levels allows for a healthy body to be maintained. And what I want to add is that dietary guidelines in today's society should include recommendations of certain fat intake, as there is evidence that polyunsaturated fats are associated with lower risk of CVD and CVD mortality, which is one of the bigger issues in the country of America. What could be done now is commercial advertising should not be this constant food pyramid where fats, oils have to be treated as sparingly as they say or minimal. People should be pushing forward more protein, dairy, and these essential fatty acids, as that is the next step to improving long-term health for these future generations. Continuing to push grains and vegetables is not so much the problem as grains, as it is proven that we benefit more from consuming or increasing our consumption of dairy, meats, healthy meats, not just red, and healthy fatty acids and oils. Salmon, chia seeds, avocado, walnuts, as mentioned, are all good examples. They should not be in this danger category, as kids, especially, are shown this and are very impressionable, and that could determine their diet going forward. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.